hakuna hao wakora hapa tena.
Stakeholders advocating for disability rights in Kenya are calling for stronger commitments to inclusion, employment and accessibility. Despite progress, disability advocates argue that gaps persist, particularly in employment and education, stressing on the urgent need of addressing these challenges to achieve full inclusivity of persons with disability.
Speaking at the Global Disability Mini-Summit in Nairobi, different stakeholders call for concrete action to remove systemic barriers that hinder persons with disabilities from fully participating in education, employment and governance. Mutari, who represented Labour and Social Protection Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua, emphasized the need for a unified approach to disability inclusion.
To achieve effective disability inclusion across all sectors, it is essential for us to unite and concentrate on several key prerequisites: advocating for equality and non-discrimination, ensuring accessibility for persons with disabilities, providing inclusive services, implementing budgeting and financial management that aligns with the CRDP, enhancing accountability and governance, and facilitating meaningful participation of persons with disabilities along with their representative organizations.
The government says progress has been made, citing expansion of the National Safety Net program, which now supports over 44,000 people with severe disabilities, and the operation of 12 vocational rehabilitation centers training more than 700 people annually.
What we need to do as a country to ensure that persons with disabilities are employed, we will, in the near future, call out counties that do not comply with this provision of the Constitution.
Ivan Joroge, the acting CEO of the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, highlighted the gaps in tracking employment outcomes for learners with disabilities, stating that the mini-summit, which comes ahead of the major summit in Berlin, Germany this month, focused on evaluating both achievements and challenges in disability inclusion. One of the biggest concerns remains the lack of job opportunities, despite a constitutional requirement for at least 5% of jobs to be allocated to persons with disabilities.
We empower them to get financing, that is LPO financing, to persons who are registered with the council. We also give them skills to enable them start small businesses. We give them tools of trade. So in that aspect, we're able to include them in the social economic aspect.
Another challenge raised is the lack of accurate data on disability.
It is a legislative requirement that 5% of any jobs, appointive, nominative or whatever, must go to persons with disability.
In Kenya, we also need to redo the census, how we do it, to the enumerators, how they identify disability is still a challenge. So for me, I feel data is a big factor.
Stakeholders argue that the official figure of 1.7% of the population is far lower than global estimates of 15 to 16%, affecting policy and service provision.